you go in there and you see the history of that stuff, and your mind just goes, "Holy shit!" And I mean, I have the fortunate to remember being back in those times and seeing that,
right,
and seeing guys ride down the. I mean, you see other clubs riding with other clubs down the highway. I mean, back in those days, in the 70s and the 80s, I mean, you couldn't go a day without seeing a pack of somebody going down the road. Nowadays, I can't tell you the last time I saw a pack of any significant amount going down the road.
Yeah,
I really can't.
Everybody's all up in the politics. But so your dad went to Satan's Slaves after?
I believe he did. I mean, it's kind of muddy. My dad did like to embellish a lot, but I do remember seeing him with a Satan Slave patch on. And I did meet an old original Satan Slave member that remembers my dad. So, and he kind of confirmed it. So, yeah.
Well, any flicks you have, even in his own rags or just sitting by his bikes, I'd love that. You know what I want to do, man, because I know, it's not 100 yet out there. But speaking of bikes, you're sitting outside with your bike, correct?
Yeah.
Can we possibly show the folks? So, just not to go into it right now, but MS has affected you from walking.
It's MS. Okay, I'll try to give you a real simple thing. Anybody that doesn't know what MS is basically you take an old school motor, right? You got spark plug wires, right? That go from the distributor to the spark plugs, right?
Right.
Okay. So in this analogy, the distributor is your brain. It's neurological. Okay. The spark plug is what sends the signal down your nervous system to the spark plugs, which could be your legs, could be your arms, your hands, your eyes, you name it. That's what it is. Your central nervous system is complex.
Right.
So what happens is that MS or the brain, for some reason, the brain all of a sudden looks at it's an autoimmune disease. What it does is basically it looks at my body and it says that the myelin sheath that covers the nerves is a foreign body, and it attacks it, and it starts eating it up. And when it eats it up, it's like a spark plug wire. When you get a break in a spark plug wire, you drive down the road, you're not firing on all 8 cylinders. You're firing on maybe 6 or 7, depending on how many wires are jacked up.
And you've had it how long? You've had it how long now?
Mine came on 3 years ago. I was in a serious car accident. I had some lady who wasn't paying attention, talking on the phone, slammed into me on the freeway at 45, 50 miles an hour. After that, they did some things. They found out that I had about 4 broken discs in my back, my lower back, a couple in my neck. So they were contributing my numbness and my neuropathy to that. And then when they started doing more intensive tests, more extensive MRIs with contrast and shit, my nervous system started lighting up like a Christmas tree. So when they do the contrast, if you have any active lesions, they light up like a Christmas tree. It's like those little blinking lights. They just boom. I literally, at one point, they said somewhere just in my neck and my back, I had close to about 45 of them. And I had one in my brain.
But with everything you've gone through, you still ride.
Oh, I'm not going to stop riding. I'm going to stop riding the day that they drag me off my bike. I'm not riding on 2 wheels anymore because I don't have the balance anymore. But I still have my old bike. You remember my bike?
Yeah. Can you mind showing both bikes?
Yeah. Well, I got to use the laptop. So tell me if you see it. This is that's my original bike, or one of my original bikes.
With the
coffin sidecar I had hooked up to it. I still haven't gotten it done. I still have to get it finished. I need some work done on it before I can start riding it. And then that's my daily driver. She's
beautiful. Turn a little more to the left. Oh, that's absolutely stunning. So you definitely still stay on the ground.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm still going. I mean, I'm not going to give up riding. I mean, it's like I got guys thinking I'm nuts for writing. I got family members telling me I shouldn't write anymore. I got a doctor telling me that I shouldn't write anymore. But I'm going to write. I don't care.
Now, you cool staying outside, or do you want to go in?
No, I'm fine. I'm good here.
So
as long as your viewers don't mind looking at my fucked up, dirty garage.
Man, you're a biker. If anything, they'll appreciate it even more.
I doubt it. It's not organized.
Nah, don't worry about it. So you get diagnosed with MS. Now you want to start a foundation for MS, correct?
My goal is, what I'd like to do is probably hook up with your extensive network with other people, maybe with with some of the other clubs, and you still have your thing with. I'd like to put together a coalition of clubs would start an annual run to raise money for the Multiple Sclerosis Society. That's what I want to do. I want to do, and I don't want to do any stupid one-day thing where everybody parties and gets drunk and does. I'd like to do like a 2-3 day thing where it's like people could come, they want to camp. We could invite other people with MS, even if they don't ride. Bring them out there, show them. My goal is eventually at some point, I got one of those 360 cameras, but I'm technology challenged. On top of being mentally challenged, I'm also technology challenged. So I'm trying to get this 360 camera thing going to where I can, record me going on rides, going on trips, so that I can post it on various MS websites, Facebook pages and stuff, and show people that they don't have to stop living just because they have MS.
Yeah, when you were diagnosed, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and people assume what they assume. I actually had someone at work, and she's a sweetheart. She didn't know, but I noticed she kept periodically looking at my hands, because my right arm shakes. I have the damage what Muhammad Ali has. His right arm shook, and I said, "Hey, just a heads up, I have Parkinson's. That's why I shake." And she goes, "Oh." She had already made up her mind. She goes, "Oh, I thought it was something else." I said, "What'd you think it was?" She goes, "I thought maybe you were jonesing for a drink." And the only thing
I would have said, if I didn't know that, I would have said it's because you're shaking, because you're just you're just one of those guys. You exude like that that look, that thing, that style, that charisma.
She had already made up her mind, and I thought to myself, how many other people have she told already? Like, hey, that guy's probably an alcoholic. And I said, no, I have Parkinson's. But when you got the diagnosis, did you see it as a death wish, or did you say, hey, man, let me look into it and see how I feel?
Well, I had heard of what MS was, but I didn't really know. Like everybody's heard of it. You've heard of MD. You've heard of my grandfather had MD in his later years of life, which was sad because it completely wrecked his body, but his brain was 100% active until the day he died. He just couldn't pick up a fork to feed himself. And literally, not TMI, but he couldn't even wipe his own ass. It was that bad. So, but his brain was still there. And it was, I started thinking, holy shit, is that what's going to happen to me? Because you need your nerves for every part of your body to function.
Right.
And so as I started doing the research, I realized, oh shit, okay, yeah, this is bad. There's still the possibility I could lose my eyesight. I could lose my hearing altogether. I'm already hearing impaired to begin with, but I could be completely deaf and blind, and it's like, holy shit, So yeah, I did some research into it, and then I realized that MS is got a lot of different levels. There's people that have MS that you would never know they have MS. They're fully functional, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They might have a week or two where they feel like shit, and that's it. And then you have it where you go stage up. Me, always being an overachiever, I had to go and get myself the worst one. So there's only one that's worse than me, and that's less than 0.01% of the entire population that has it. So
now When did your balance start going?
Oh, almost immediately after the accident.
Really?
Because I've got a bunch of, because of the crushed disc, I have a bunch of pinched nerves in my back.
Right.
So, and because, you know, the doctors at the time, they were like, they got the diagnosis of MS. They're like, oh, well, you know, that was a workman's comp thing. So the workman's comp didn't want to fix the problem. And they just basically gave me a settlement after 2 years and said, go away, without fixing the problem, because they're like, well, you got MS. So what does it matter? That was their philosophy.
How long did you fight that you were like trying to stay on two wheels?
Up until probably a year after my diagnosis, my original diagnosis.
Yeah.